To spend a night here is the dream of astronomers the world over.
You would open the dome, kind of rolling like thunder. You were alone on the mountain with a telescope. It's you and the universe, or you and God, so to speak.
You'd sit at the platform of the telescope, guiding, making very fine adjustments on this magnificent instrument with a little hand paddle, with your eye staring down onto the illuminated crosshairs, and work there 8, 10, 12 hours.
Oftentimes it was extremely cold. In winter they wore heavy coats, sometimes they were bearskin or sheepskin coats. You could literally have your tears freeze to the eyepiece. And they wanted hot coffee, but Hale wouldn't allow it. He thought it was poisonous to the system.
Hello.
Coffee isn't all that Hale keeps off the mountaintop.
In the 1920s, I would not have been allowed to work up here. In fact, I wouldn't have been welcome even as a wife or a visitor of any of the scientists. Hale, in his days at Yerkes, had found that the wives of some of the astronomers became a distraction to their monastic scholarly studies, and so they were essentially banned from the mountaintop.
Ironically, without the contribution made by a woman, the first great discovery made with
These are finger lime seedlings.
Impossible.
The closest a woman could get to the field was, at the time, at the Harvard College Observatory, where major data collecting projects were in progress. Women were hired on to help to analyze
funny if it was a GTA side mission
that were below the duties of the men.
Henrietta Leavitt is one of a dozen women who studied tens of thousands of photographic plates taken by men at distant observatories. Leavitt's task is to examine plates taken at different times and look for stars that vary.
Thanks for the rose.
She notices a pattern in classic stars, Cephids, and realizes the time it takes them to reach their maximum brightness can be used to determine how far away they are. It's a landmark discovery. Before Leavitt, astronomers couldn't calculate the distance to any but the closest stars.
What Henrietta Leavitt did was provide one of the first, and still to this day, one of the most fundamental yardsticks in the universe.
Jay, they are
all distances
finger lime
are
seedlings.
determined. Without that, we'd be clueless.
Yeah, well, they're worth a lot more than traditional. Like limes.
Make use of Leavitt's celestial yardstick.
When I get them up and growing, if I could export them to Europe, they're worth $300 a kilo.
A star athlete in college, Hubble had won a Rhodes Scholarship and studied law at Oxford University in England. Upon returning home, however, he decides against becoming a lawyer and heads off to graduate school to take seriously a fascination with the stars that he has felt since childhood. When Hubble arrives at Mount Wilson in 1919, he's a smart but arrogant 29-year-old who has taken pains to adopt what he sees as the proper image of an astronomer.
What he tries to do is to create this portrait of himself as a kind of natural-born patrician. He tries to lose his Missouri roots, because I think he's embarrassed about those things. He sees the English gentleman as being the prototype of what he wants to become. He wears English tweeds, he wears knickers.
Now I'm going to try and keep it
out of fashion except in the
as G-rated as I can.
He smoked a pipe.
He spoke with an effective British accent. He had dueling scars, which were said to be self-inflicted when whispered among the staff.
He loves being separate and apart from...
Thanks for the roses.
And he plays that to the hilt.
In time, most of Hubble's personality quirks are overlooked because he's an excellent astronomer with a gift for asking the right questions. Hubble wants to unlock the secrets of the nebulae. Faint, fuzzy smears of light that have puzzled astronomers for 1,000 years. Even with Hale's magnificent 100-inch, their true nature eludes him for 4 long years. Finally, in October of 1923, while photographing one of the spiral arms of the Great Nebula in Toronto, Hubble catches a break.
He took a 40-minute photographic flight and developed it the next day and looked at it and thought he saw what was then known as a nova. That was another hot topic, that is, what were novae, what were stars that brightened unexpectedly. So his curiosity piqued. He decided the next night, which was a better night, to take another exposure and took a deeper photographic plate.
This plate has what he believes are 3 novae. Yet an even greater surprise awaits him.
But when he got down the mountain the next day and he began to compare the plates with those that had been taken earlier, he discovered that one of the 3 novae was not in fact a nova, but it was a Cepheid. And it's a eureka moment. He writes in capital letters on the slide itself, VAR, exclamation point, for variable star.
Hubble knows instantly, thanks to Henrietta Leavitt's discovery about Cepheids, that this star and the system it's a part of must be very far away, and the universe must be far larger than anyone had dreamed.
Yeah, it must have been a good moment for him. What he found was the distance to M31, the Andromeda, one of about our nearest neighbors, is about 2 million light years. So people have been talking about the scale of our galaxy, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, maybe 100,000 light years. What this meant was that M31 and all those other galaxies were not part of our system. They were themselves big systems equal to the Milky Way.
There are, in fact, billions of galaxies, each one containing hundreds of billions of stars. Hubble's discovery of the stunning size of the universe and the multitude of stars and star systems that can be found within it changes forever our picture of the cosmos. That discovery alone would have made Hubble one of the great astronomers of the century. But he continues to study distant galaxies and makes an even greater discovery. For 5 years, he gathers data on the movements of galaxies, recording where they're headed and how fast. If a galaxy is moving away, its light is stretched. The interval between wave crests gets longer. The light appears redder.
They finger lime seedlings, Jade.
The redder the light. If a galaxy is moving closer, the light is compressed and appears bluer.
After many years, Hubble could sit down and look at this great quantity of information, and he plotted a chart. He plotted for the nebulae the motions against the distances, and he found something truly amazing, a straight line.
That the distance of a galaxy is proportional to its velocity. So as you go twice as far out, turns out the velocity is twice as big. You go 3 times as far out, the velocity is 3 times as big. We live in a world, I mean, a big world, a universe, where everything's rushing apart, and it's happening in a way we call Hubble's law, where the velocity is proportional to
an expanding universe.
Rod Jam.
How could that be when
They
the whole history of human thought?
Could be a couple of years until they're fully growing.
The universe is this fixed thing, and how could it change? The universe is everything. How
They
could
finger
it
lime
have an
seedlings.
evolutionary path? Because if we have an expanding universe, that might mean it had a beginning. It might mean it'll end. This is a discovery for the ages.
Before Edwin Hubble's discovery,
No, they're not special
physicist
plans.
Albert Einstein assumed that the universe is fixed and eternal.
Hello,
His original
Flash.
equations for general relativity had predicted a changing cosmos. But Einstein was unable to believe
I'm
his
from
own theory.
Queensland myself.
So he added what is called a cosmological constant to bring the universe to rest. Years later,
I'm not selling
Einstein
them. I want
traveled
to
to
start
Mount
farming
Wilson to
them.
meet Hubble. While there, Einstein declares that his cosmological constant is the greatest blunder of his scientific career. Of course, by this time, Einstein can afford to admit to a mistake or two. He's already renowned as one of history's greatest scientists, the man who redefines gravity, space, and even time. At the age of 22, at the turn of the century, Albert Einstein is living in Zurich and facing an uncertain future. He dreams of becoming a professor of physics, but he can't get a job. He has alienated most of his college teachers, and they won't give him the recommendations he needs.
How old are you
In
viewers?
early 1902, he moves to
Well,
Berlin.
my dad owns property, so
He's tired of scraping by with what he can earn giving private lessons. And a friend's father has offered to help him get a job there.
yeah, if that was seed, that would take
He's
years.
a technical clerk, third class, reviewing applications for patents on new inventions.
Einstein was a perfect fit.
Like seed, they can take from anywhere from 3 to 6 years to start
Were, in my
fruiting.
view, absolutely formative of his scientific style. He'd sit down every day with stacks of documents, and his job was to strip away all the complications, to take a patent like this and figure out, did this violate the basic laws of physics? What was its central idea? Was it that central idea new, or was it something?
I'm pretty sure these are from cuttings.
Decisions which he made every day,
I'm not
looking
too
at these new
sure.
devices, shaped his sense of how to strip down a physical problem down
Doesn't
to
really
absolute
matter.
essentials. What are the principles?
It's this same approach that compels Einstein to re-examine fundamental assumptions of classical physics, including ideas about space and time that seem to everyone else inescapable. In the early 20th century, everyone, from physicists to sports fans, takes for granted that a mile is a mile, no matter where the race is run. That the runner who finishes in 4.5 minutes is faster than the one who finishes in 5.
You know, I didn't germinate them, I bought them
Time and space are
from
the same
a seller off
everywhere
eBay.
for everyone. Indeed, that was Isaac Newton's starting point when he wrote down his laws of motion and gravity in the 17th century. Laws that seem to explain everything, from the flight of an arrow to the orbits of planets. But Einstein is willing, where others are not, to question everything, even our common sense view of the universe.
All I have tried to do in my life is ask a few questions. Could God have created the universe any other way? Or had he no choice? And how would I have made the universe if I had the chance?
Yeah, I have starfruit
Einstein is driven to
seeds and
ask
all
such
that,
questions
but
by a problem he sees with the
just haven't got
traditional
around
description of
putting
light.
them out to germinate in my
From Maxwell's
little
equations,
grey
great classical physics
seedling starters,
had preceded him.
my greenhouses, whatever you call them.
As a wave. And that every time you saw a wave of light, it was always traveling by you at some enormously fast speed, like 186,000 miles a second. So we were always in the position of somebody, say, standing on the beach, watching a train of waves go by. Now, with any kind of wave that you've ever seen, or Einstein had ever seen, you could always catch up with it if you...
It is still going.
You had a bunch of waves.
Oh no, I just restarted, Tim.
Rode alongside it, you'd see the wave just floating as it was not moving.
My phone died out, it was about to die early, and plus the sun was starting to get a bit hot.
What if I caught up to a light wave?
Gotta try and
What if I
save
went as fast
energy
as light
for
was
going
going?
back to work
Would I
tomorrow
see
after
it
having Christmas
still,
off.
the way the horseman sees the waves in the canal if he catches up to it? And then he thought to himself,
Well, that would be such a strange sight. It doesn't correspond to anything anyone's ever seen. A still...
The camp man, I'm from Stanthorpe.
Einstein is convinced that light wouldn't be light if you could catch up to it. But in classical physics, you can catch up to any wave, and light is a wave.
How could it be that there was a wave moving along that you couldn't catch up to? He didn't know how to solve the problem. He didn't even know how to articulate the problem fully.
No, I don't have any mature fruit trees yet. That is some mature stone fruit trees down the paddock.
Time and space are satisfied with the circumstances. It never gives another sort of effect. But because I was a late developer, I first pondered such simple questions as an adult, and so
came in and planning out finger lines.
Tenaciously than any child would do.
In order to simplify the problem he sees with light, Einstein uses
too many other people around here growing tomatoes.
Only in his
The bloke
imagination.
that has the farm next to where I work, he has tomatoes.
From James Clerk Maxwell's equations, we know that the
No, I've never tried making fruit wine, but
move at 186
a lot of other people do.
What if the train were moving at the speed of light?
It's almost showtime here, so
One
there's
possibility is
the
train catches up to
homemade
the
beer
light
and
wave, so
wine
it never reached the mirror.
section.
Einstein is convinced this can't happen. Light can't stand still.
Yeah, but tomatoes, when you've already got
And what does it mean if I do see my reflection?
3 or 4 other farmers with hundreds of acres,
Everything is just
I wouldn't
fine.
make anything by
But
taking
for a
them down to
person
the
standing
packing
outside
shed.
the train, there's a problem.
I'd end
That
up
person
paying
sees the
money.
train moving by at
So I'd have to get them packed.
186,000 miles per second, and therefore the light reflected from my face traveling.
I've already got
toward the mirror,
some
must be traveling at twice
more
the speed,
older
or
ones.
370,000
I should maybe get
miles
some
per
fruit
second.
off of them before, like, around maybe Christmas from the bloke I bought them off, he said.
Per second. If the speed of light added to the speed of the train carrying the light.
But these ones maybe next year, next Christmas.
This way since the days of Galileo. But Einstein concludes this simple adding of velocities is wrong, because the speed of light never changes.
Yeah, Campman,
It's
I'm
always
potting out
186,000 miles per second.
finger
Even
lines,
if its source is
because
motion. Whether on or
that's
off
how
the plane, you have to get
they
the same
come
measurement
when
of
I
the speed
ordered
of
them
light.
off eBay.
The stunning consequence of this is that someone off the train measures rulers on the train as short and clocks on the train as running slow.
In a flash of brilliance, Einstein proposes that distance and time are not absolute. That a foot and a second measured on the train are not the same as a foot and a second measured off. Distance and time are relative.
Hold on. We're taking off.
Fortunately, this phenomenon is only noticeable close to the speed of light.
Yeah, no, I've been researching what would be better, and really I still reckon it'll be another 10, 20 years until there'll be enough supply,
Trying to escape from some monster.
or at least people interested in actually growing them.
Incredible speeds.
So if I get in now, I'll be able to get in.
Are running at different speeds. Assuming you've been gone for the better part of a year, when you get back, everyone you knew would have been dead thousands of years. It's the ultimate example of relative time. But Einstein isn't finished quite yet. He still has to conjure up the famous equation of the phase. E equals mc squared.
Einstein realized that not only does time slow down the faster you go, he also realized that when objects move, they get heavier as they move. It was a curiosity. Why should objects get heavier as they move? And then he suddenly realized that the reason why objects get heavier as they move is because the energy of motion is being converted into mass. Now think about that for a moment. the energy of motion is being converted into mass. This means that energy is turning into mass.
Yeah, no, they get exported all over the world from the ones that do grow them.
It's only one step. Quickly wrote down the equation that relates energy to matter, and it is exactly E equals mc squared.
Einstein's theory of space and time is called special relativity.
Funny chopper read.
Physicists are intrigued, but little changes in Einstein's life. With a growing family to support, he remains at the patent office and moves on to another, even greater intellectual challenge. Special relativity applies to objects.
I get water. Oh, got a river. Like that goes the whole entire length of the property. So pump up to a tank and then just turn the pump on, the electric pump at the house on, and then I can use the garden hose.
Has ever taken on. Einstein struggles with it for 10 years.
Now, most of us physicists, when we grapple with a problem that we can't understand, we give up and say, God is malicious.
The river I back onto is, I've got the junction in 2, the accommodation creek in the 7th. My boss actually has the majority of the junction.
He said God is power. That only if we dare to penetrate into the essence of things, then we would find the answer.
To get to the essence of accelerated motion, Einstein once again turns to a thought experiment.
Imagine this elevator were located in deep space and uniformly accelerating upward. With no windows and no connection to the outside world, Einstein said it would be impossible for us to determine whether or not we're moving. But you might say, I believe on my feet. But his response to that would be, but how do you determine whether that pressure is caused by the elevator moving upward through space with uniform acceleration, or by the elevator simply sitting on the surface of the Earth and you're feeling the effects of gravity?
The fact that you can't tell the difference, said Einstein, means acceleration and gravity must somehow be the same. He concludes, after a series of incredibly complex calculations, that this is only possible if space and time are curved.
I have thought about growing coffee, but one of my high school Shop A, like manual arts teachers, he actually grows coffee in the area. His coffee is called the Summit Coffee.
Right, that a body in motion tends to stay in motion in a straight line.
So it does grow here, but I don't think he gets the full yield. I'm not too sure, I haven't really spoken to him since he was starting it back when I was in high school.
The Earth orbits the Sun not because of a mysterious force, but because the Sun curves the space around. The Earth is simply traveling the shortest path through curved space. Einstein's theory of general relativity perfectly describes the motions of planets, stars, and
well, whatever floats your boat,
in space and in time.
Benji.
Suddenly, physics could say something about the fate of the universe. It could ask questions about whether the universe as a whole had a certain curvature, whether it would come back in on itself, whether it would expand out forever. General relativity had a scope as infinite as the universe.
The world is not the same place once you understand these theories. Space and time are somehow the same thing. It's very different from my experience as I go through life. And I can never go back to looking at things the way they were before I understood this theory.
Carrie, I'm planting finger limes. Craig, I'm planting finger limes.
Einstein is awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics.
These ones, the variety's called Andy's Green Banana.
That's too weird for the awards committee to accept. Instead, Einstein is
the ones I did earlier this morning,
including a paper
the Mia Rose.
This paper ultimately leads to a second revolution in physics.
We're trying to build an empire.
It's too weird for Einstein himself to accept.
hit a major snag last year trying to do it, but sorry about that.
Struggle to understand the structure of atoms. What
Stay sus.
20th century learned is that in the world
No ganja.
small, seemingly impossible is commonplace. Things don't exist until someone looks at them.
Peter Holt, I'm from the stand
We're
up.
unable to say exactly what path something takes to get from point A to point B. Uncertainty and chance are woven into the very fabric of existence. One of the key figures in the quantum revolution is a young
Yeah, I
baby
do,
with a tendency
Glenn.
to mumble. He's the scientist on the right. His name is Niels Bohr. And from childhood, it's physics that consumes him. Once, while playing goalie in an important soccer game, he starts scribbling equations on a goal
No
post.
beer for me.
Only the screams and ardent At school, he's an excellent student, but he seems to have a serious phobia.
Tomatoes, well, chilies are probably better money than
As a
tomatoes.
graduate student, he dictates his entire doctoral dissertation to his mother.
It takes a lot more chilies than tomatoes to make a kilo.
Not to write for himself. He never does. After his marriage,
Nah, boss ain't watching that I'm aware of. Haven't seen him pop up.
in 1912, shortly after receiving his
But
doctorate,
yeah, Glenn used to
Bohr
work
travels to
for
England.
the bloke I'm working for. Go back
He
to
comes
work for him
Ernst
tomorrow.
Rutherford's laboratory, just 1 year after Rutherford makes a startling discovery about atoms. Atoms had been seen as amorphous blobs of positive charge studded throughout with negative electrons.
Yeah,
In fact,
Tim
Rutherford
said,
they're more like
spoke,
little planetary systems.
mentioned, yeah.
All the positive charge and virtually all the mass is concentrated in a tiny nucleus, around which the electrons orbit like planets around the sun.
Yeah, he's sold up
This is the
all the
courtyard at
bees.
Cambridge University, where Rutherford began and
I've
ended
only
his
got
scientific career.
another
Imagine
few
an atom
loads
this
of
size.
boxes to lift, and then it's all over and done,
The
dusted.
size of the nucleus will only be 1 millimeter in diameter. That's a bit smaller than this little grain of sand that I've got in my hand here. In other words, what it means is atoms are effectively empty space. Now, how can we reconcile that with the fact that matter is matter, and my hands don't go through one another? Well, that's crazy, because if it's mostly empty space, they should pass right through each other. So what I understand now is, in fact, the reason my hands don't go through one another is that while the space is empty, what it's filled with is really electric fields. But when the electrons come within a very small distance of each other, they begin to repel each other. So we have the illusion
No, he
that
sold
things are
them, they
solid,
all went
when
with it.
actually we have this tremendous vacuum given by the fact that the atom is basically empty. Now this means that I'm not really sitting in this chair at all. The atoms of my body are about...
I think he's in the market for another small truck, but I think he might have already found himself one.
Rutherford's conception of the atom is a breakthrough, but almost immediately he finds a paradox at the heart of it.
See, the problem was that if you've got a nucleus with a positive charge and electrons in orbit about it, then we know that the electrons...
Nah, she's not quite bottomless, it's almost empty.
It should do it in a fraction of a second. And that's catastrophic. What it's telling me is that atoms can't exist. It means that you and I would not exist. The atoms would have no way of supporting themselves with the large volumes that they have.
Oyster Cove, I'm planting out
When Niels
finger
Bohr
limes.
arrives in Manchester, Rutherford is ready to abandon his model of the atom. But Bohr sees a way to save it.
He was so excited, he canceled his honeymoon. He had to delay his wedding, cancel the honeymoon, and his poor fiancée, instead of going on a luxurious honeymoon, had to take dictation.
Terry, I'm
as
from
her husband
Stanthorpe.
dictated one of the greatest
I don't know what's
masterpieces
for
of
tea
physics
yet, Matilda.
because he himself
Is it?
could not get himself
Yeah,
to
Matilda.
write down
Don't know
the
what's
paper.
for tea. Probably just have some
What
toast.
was that You would not allow the electrons to move in any orbit about the nucleus, as you could according to classical theory, but only to occupy certain very well-defined orbits about the nucleus. There would be an orbit here, an orbit here, an orbit here, but there would not exist orbits between these.
And that's very known. If you take the Earth and you move the Earth a little bit closer to the Sun, no problem. You have a different orbit.
Bam, is that off of
different time to go
Jackass?
No problem. That you cannot do with an electron around the Sun. You cannot change the orbit by a little bit. You have to change it by, so to speak, a lot. Bohr's idea that electrons can have only certain orbits draws inspiration from other new theories that suggest heat and light come in units that can't be divided, called quanta. But applying this quantum idea to matter is practically sacrilegious. In fact, most physicists disapprove of Bohr's theory. Whenever they meet, they scoff at the idea that an electron can be in some places but not others.
Lewis, I'm planting out
but not others.
finger limes.
If it's not
No, no pot.
at least it doesn't make sense.
The assumptions are too bold, too fantastic.
Wouldn't be
Can't be right.
In time, two camps emerged.
Hello, Adam.
A group around Bohr, which believes in his so-called quantum theory of matter, and those who cling to the classical.
So, Carrie, you're on
no less than
the
the
Central
Central
Coast, New South Wales.
State. In 1926, Werner Heisenberg, a 25-year-old German physicist, comes up with a mathematical description of atoms
Huh?
that goes a long way toward legitimizing
What about,
Bohr.
what happened to me? Yeah, yes.
Classical physicists remain unconvinced. Heisenberg's mathematical...
I am good things, Brianne.
And the mysterious comings and goings of electrons are just...
Everyone, I'm from Stanthorpe.
Within a year, an Austrian named Erwin
Greg,
Schrödinger
yeah, I know a few Gregs. So you have to be a bit more...
Schrödinger had this beautiful theory of the electron as a wave. It was smeared out over space and time. There wasn't a particle at all. Physicists loved this idea.
3 hours south
We could look
west of Brisbane.
inside the atom. Physicists knew how to calculate with waves. They calculated waves as an undergraduate in college. They knew how waves went around and formed orbits. So the appeal of the Schrödinger picture was that it was pictorial.
Yeah, it's in
it's in
Australia.
It was continuous. None of this quantum business. And you could calculate with it.
So which is it? Is matter made up of waves or particles? They seem to be complete opposites. Waves can pass through one another. Sometimes...
It's been a while for sure, Greg.
Sometimes making even bigger waves.
No, not in a van no more. I'm back out at my dad's.
Smash, exert force when they meet. They can't cancel each other out.
So these two pictures clashed with each other, and they debated, and they had arguments, and they yelled and screamed at each other. In fact, one day Heisenberg was so worried that he simply came down with hives and hay fever and tremendous amounts of allergy, worrying about whether or not the rival picture was correct.
In 1926, Bohr...
Yeah, I will do, Greg.
...invites Schrödinger to Bohr's new institute in Copenhagen to try and work out their differences. Heisenberg writes about the visit.
Though Bohr was an unusually considerate and obliging person,
So like Geordie Shore, are you, Bray?
to insist fanatically and with almost terrifying relentlessness on complete clarity in all arguments.
Nothing other than the finger limes.
He would not give up,
For now.
even after hours of struggling, until Schrödinger had admitted that his
I
meditation
was
was
gonna
insufficient.
go live with all my other ones. I
Every attempt
planned it out, all
from
my other
Schrödinger's side to
natives,
get
but
round this bitter result was
I don't know
slowly
what happened.
executed,
Just didn't
point
really
by
feel
point,
up to it.
in infinitely laborious discussions.
I don't know what Native Americans called America.
Falls ill from exhaustion. She brings him tea and cake, even as her husband sits on the edge of the bed, continuing the argument.
That's a bit too much information about sitting on the toilet.
Wearily noting at one point.
Oh well, bag's empty.
Sorry, I only started doing that.
Bags are empty. The Heisenberg picture was that the electron was a particle. However, there was a certain amount of uncertainty.
No, I haven't sold any yet.
The particle was.
Well, I'm still getting all established and all that at the moment. Yeah, well, there's gold around here, but never really gone looking for it.
Park, and late at night, he walked through the park wondering, how can it be? How can it be that you don't quite know where the electron is? And then, in a flash, he understood. Because to understand where an electron is, you have to look at it. To look at it, you have to shine a light on it. But when you shine a light on it, that disturbs where the electron is. So
well, I planted
changes its location.
at 120 on 2 bags.
Of his picture.
So, it's definitely not too bad.
His insight, the uncertainty principle. In a clear mathematical way, it says, the more you know about a particle's position,
Charles
the less
Manson.
you can know about its speed and direction.
I've been called everything between Charlie Chapman and now Charles Manson.
The less you can know about where it is at any given time.
And when he finally had that idea, he realized that he could merge the Schrödinger picture with the Bohr-Heisenberg picture to give us the modern-day theory of the quantum principle.
No, I
the electron
ordered my seedlings off eBay.
But you don't know quite where it is. And the probability of finding it at any given point is given by a wave, the Schrödinger wave. So we now have this beautiful synthesis.
Yeah, it might be an idea to catch up sometime, Greg.
Heisenberg's principle, indeed, is very, very non-intuitive. Frankly speaking, I call it bizarre. But you can see it at work. Suppose I have a laser beam here. And I use laser beam because that's right, but I could use any other light for that matter. And I make here an opening, a slit, a vertical slit. And here goes the laser beam right through the slit. Light goes on, and here I project this onto
yeah, it's been a while.
Projection screen. And what do I see? Well, you see exactly what you predict. You see here this laser spot from this beam.
I'm from Stanthorpe.
But now I'm going
I got a yard. I don't stay in the van. This is my dad's girlfriend's caravan.
What you predict. You're going to cut off the edges of the circle.
Which is where I set up to do it, to stay out of the morning sun.
And narrower, and narrower.
Don't want to not be able to go back to work.
That this narrow slit, say, is only 1/4 of an inch wide.
3 minutes to 6.
Now Heisenberg's principle comes in. Because now you know so precisely in the horizontal direction where the light is, that as it emerges from this slit, the direction of the light
growing the hair.
is determined according to Heisenberg's principle. And so now what you're going to see, it's going to spread out in the horizontal plane, and therefore what you're going to see on this projection screen is going to get wider. Extremely non-intuitive. Because what am I doing? I'm making the slit narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower. And what do you see ultimately? That the beam horizontally becomes wider and wider and wider and wider and wider and wider and wider. Now that is very non-intuitive.
You got plenty of rows around here.
It's the way the world works.
According to the quantum theory, even the most bizarre events have a probability of taking place. There's a certain probability that I will dissolve and simply rematerialize on the other side of that brick wall. Now you may say to yourself, well that's impossible.
I'm planting out finger lime seedlings.
Rematerialize on the other side of brick walls. But we actually give this problem to our graduate students.
Or cuttings, whatever they are.
We ask them to calculate, using the quantum theory, what is the probability that you will find yourself on the other side.
I'll be back in a minute, everyone, so...
Now, to tell you the truth, you would have to wait longer than the lifetime of the universe for such an event to take place. So you don't have to worry. Your atoms are not going to dissolve, and you're not going to rematerialize on the other side of brick walls. But there is a probability you can calculate for that event happening.
And then you can ask yourself the question, do I understand it? I don't even know what that means, understand it. I have problems with that. Physics describes things, describes phenomena. And as long as it is predictable, as long as that formalism applied in a certain situation gives you the right answer, who cares? Who cares what the meaning is of understanding? I think I leave it up to philosophers. And I think I don't have a clue either, of course, but they...
There are some physicists who refuse to accept.
Yeah, well, they are wild finger limes, but...
That's the full story of the subatomic
Well, I got
world.
some that should be producing by Christmas this year, and these here might give me a few by Christmas next year.
Quantum mechanics is very worthy of regard, but an inner voice tells me that this is not the true Jacob. The theory yields a lot, but it hardly brings us any closer to the secret of the old.
No, not growing well.
In any case, I am convinced that he doesn't throw dice.
Genocide. I am my own boss.
About which we could not know. And his idea, from early on in his life, all the way to the end of his life,
you can tell the boss, but these ain't for them. These ain't for Tim.
Deterministic, causal, ordered.
I'm listening to a documentary about the edge of the universe.
About a future in terms of everything about the present. And quantum mechanics wouldn't allow it. He couldn't stand that.
A lot of music. This brings back too many bad memories. And I can't really work to music.
In Brussels in 1927. Einstein challenges Bohr and the idea that uncertainty rules the world. Werner Heisenberg writes in his diary,
"We all stayed at the same hotel. The discussion usually started at breakfast, with Einstein serving us up an imaginary experiment by which he thought he had definitely refuted the uncertainty principle. In the course of the day, we
Saffron's good money.
Matter, and as a rule, by supper time, we would have reached the point where Niels Bohr could prove to Einstein that even his latest experiment failed to shake the uncertainty principle. Einstein would look a bit worried, but by next morning he was ready with a new imaginary experiment more complicated than the last.
I don't really remember that. Sorry, Greg.
This is so clever, it has Bohr deeply concerned for the future of quantum mechanics. Physicist Leon Rosenfeld writes,
Bohr did not see the solution. I shall never forget the sight of the two antagonists leaving the hall. Einstein, a tall, majestic figure, walking quietly with a somewhat ironic smile, and Bohr trotting near him, very excited. During the whole evening, Bohr was extremely unhappy.
I'm planting out finger limes if you don't want to know what this is.
That it couldn't be true. That it would be the end of physics if Einstein were right.
Fake war. Yeah, that's a good one for it. Pretty much a waste of the world's resources. Hello to New Zealand.
Einstein's own theory of relativity.
Bohr and Einstein are an astonishing pair. In many ways, they loved each other. They loved talking to each other. They loved engaging with each other's ideas. And yet they wanted such utterly different things from physics that they never really could see eye to eye.
God does not throw dice was Einstein's unshakable principle, one that he would not allow anybody to challenge. To which Bohr could only counter, nor is it our business to prescribe to God how he should run the world. Einstein and Bohr had their last battle about quantum mechanics in 1933. By this time, both relativity and quantum theory are almost universally accepted by physicists as the most powerful ideas they have for explaining the world. Now,
150.
attention shifts to another challenge. Figuring out what goes on inside the atom. Physicists want to know what holds the nucleus together. They want to know if protons, electrons, and the newly discovered neutrons make up everything in the universe, or if these particles are made up of something even more fundamental. In the process, what begins as an intellectual quest turns out to have explosive consequences. In the early 1930s, Albert Einstein emigrated.
So how you never gave me $100 yesterday?
Rising tide of fascism and anti-Semitism in Germany. Before the decade
I've had no money off anyone.
Many of Europe's finest scientists are forced to make the same journey. Among the last to leave is Neil.
It is country here.
He arrives in the United States in 1939, bringing with him stunning news. In Hitler's Germany, two scientists have split an atom of uranium, releasing in that moment some of the tremendous energy bound up in matter. Using simple equipment widely available, they produced the first evidence from a controlled experiment of Einstein's famous equation, E equals mc squared.
I was in Berkeley, and people had gone to the meeting in Washington.
I think Greg's actually some...
And they called up and said,
I might know you. So if you're Dion and Jason's brother,
2 or 3 people had done it.
talk about owing money.
I could see the big spikes of fission on the oscilloscope screen. And by the end of the month, everybody knew this was going to be
At a secret facility deep in New Mexico scrubland, the U.S. Army assembles a team of American and transplanted European physicists, the greatest collection of scientific talent the world has ever seen. Their talent? Create an atomic bomb before the enemy.
We were galvanized by the notion that the Germans were ahead. Spent a lot of money, they were very good, it was discovered in Germany, they had able people. Actually, we didn't realize that they had lost so much by destroying the community as they had done. It was lucky.
Americans have the talent and practically unlimited resources. In less than 5 years, $2 billion creates a nuclear
I didn't say...
the size of the U.S. auto industry.
I might have said their first names, but I haven't dropped their last, so...
No one can say for sure the product of all this effort will work.
The basic physics was known. The quantum principle was known. Relativity, E equals mc squared, was known. The chain reaction was known. But it was not known how to put it all together.
Okay, that would explain why he hasn't paid me.
The minds of the world were concentrated at Los Alamos, not to discover new physics, because that was already done by the Bohrs and by the Einsteins. They were assembled to see whether or not it would actually work.
Yeah, I'll show everyone just before I go watering them.
When I first brought the plutonium sphere in contact with a high explosive, I was quite scared about a high explosive. And
I'll show everyone now.
Roger Warner, who was in charge of
Oh yeah, that sounds about right.
anyhow, so you'll never know what happens.
Yeah, land is getting quite expensive here. Here we go, this is what I've got at the moment.
It's a new world. We're going to see that. Maybe remember war, that was very good, but who knows what's going to come after that, we didn't know.
It was a fantastic experience of taking theories.
There's 15 acres total usable here.
Like the opening of Pandora's box. Perhaps humanity was not
186 all up.
cosmic fire. Perhaps humanity was not mature enough to handle the power of the sun now being placed on the earth.
Yeah, but problem, when you're rural, you got to subdivide out in 100-acre lots and have 100 acres left over, so
Even if we have something 1,000
not enough
times
to
larger than this,
subdivide.
we have to turn to a different kind of telescope. Well, without lenses or mirrors or any of the other things astronomers have relied upon for centuries. This
Selling a bag.
has to be seen with telescopes that use radio waves, X-rays, infrared rays.
I haven't got a crop yet, so...
Everything in the universe gives off radiation in some way. For example, the grays on this teacup emits
That's
gamma
all
waves.
profit, really.
Imagine that it is a galaxy.
When next year?
Next
year.
Ray telescope.
Yeah. No, I haven't got any limes off yet. I don't know.
Half of the 20th century. Astronomers start exploring the heavens with
there's been some properties around here going for around the million, and they're smaller than here.
One of the most surprising discoveries of post-war astronomy is made with this device built outside.
Yes, ma'am, I'm from Stanthorpe.
It may look like 4.5 acres of laundry line.
Yeah, lucky I'm growing finger limes.
As the Earth rotates, miles of antenna wire receive radio signals day and night. When it goes into operation in 1967, Jocelyn Bell gets the task of running it. Within months, the young graduate student notices something she's never seen before.
Yeah, Stanthorpe.
On one of the long rolls of
$1 million, that's about going right for a lot of land around here.
But I think the human brain stores problems. I think mine does anyway. Things that it can't resolve.
Yeah, Stanthorpe.
Because it's curious at the same
Nowhere near Shepperton, like probably about 1,000 or so odd k's north of there.
And yet somehow my brain stored that way back somewhere, but it stored it. And after it had dealt with this problem a couple of times, and it faced it the third time, it said, I've seen something like this before.
She immediately calls her thesis advisor, radio astronomer Anthony.
No, I don't grow any other green stuff.
He's intrigued, but cautions the signal was probably man-made. Bell goes back to her chart and figures out when the signal should come again. She sets her instruments to record a more detailed image and discovers the signal is a stone of pulses, exactly 1 1/3 seconds.
Still a good way.
Never before.
Well, depending on what you call outback. Cutting the Windy's only 100 k's, Inglewood's only about 100 k's.
Look at them with your naked eye. You ever seen one go? Nothing, right?
And one way out.
Yeah, well, had a few people growing it. So, here at Shrinaby. So, might be still a few.
Totally shocked, shell-shocked that this possibility existed. They realized it would be the discovery of the century. If we get in touch, somehow receive signals from civilization.
What do you do if you have...
So you got one of those medical grow things, do you, Reaper?
Do you tell the president, the press, or the Pope first?
Before they can tell anyone anything, Bell finds what could be a second signal. She heads out to the antenna on a cold November night to check it out.
Yeah, JRC.
Scooter slithering all over the place on the ice. And when I got here, the machinery wasn't working properly because of the cold. But I flicked switches, I kicked it, I cursed it, I breathed hot air on it, and I got it to work for 5 minutes. And it was the right 5 minutes, and it was the right setting so as it was looking at the right bit of sky. And in came whoop, 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 whoop. Very like the first lot, but not totally the same. A little bit different. 1 1/4 cents instead of 1 1/3. And that settles the little green men question, because it's so unlikely to be 2 lots of little green men, opposite sides of the sky, both deciding to signal to an inconspicuous planet, and using a not very intelligent way of doing it also. So it had to be something stellar.
The news of Bell's pulsing stars spreads rapidly through the astrophysics.
Well, it's a bit hard for me to read.
An important discovery. What they
The
are
amount of
and how they pulse is a real mystery.
In a rotating medium. So if you take a large object collapsing and it rotates enough, then you go back to the old argument we had, and maybe it breaks up. Perhaps it's a white dwarf. Perhaps there is a new
Finally, a physicist connects what Bell has found with an old theory about the death throes of stars.
It's still daylight.
Long assumed to be untestable. Predicts
Yeah, a
that
million
when
don't
one
get you
star
much.
Runs out of nuclear
That's
fuel,
about your last comment.
and crush the atoms within it.
I'm
What's left is
Trez.
nothing else in the
I'm
universe.
planting finger
An
limes.
incredibly dense object made almost entirely of neutrons.
Every open space that you can think of, the electron in the atoms is squeezed out, and it becomes one huge.
Yeah, it's 6:15 in the evening
into the
here.
protons, forming neutrons. That's why we call them neutron stars. A neutron star has typically a radius of about 10
Hello to
kilometers, 6 miles.
Alabama.
But the amount of matter in a neutron star is a little bit more than the total mass. The total
And
mass of
rich
the sun.
farmers' daughters around here.
A spoonful of
Or is he talking about the Italian ones that
would weigh, if you like,
own all the apple farms out in the north?
2 times 10 to the 11 is 2 with 11 zeros
You're gonna have a shower after I'm done all this.
in 1 spoonful.
Yeah, you too, Lockie. I'm nowhere near Melbourne.
Neutron stars can rotate.
No, not married.
700 times
No girlfriends.
as they do.
Had one
as
last
powerful
year,
magnetic fields move
but
through space.
she put a spanner in a lot of my things I wanted to do, so since she broke up with me at June last, end of June, start of July last year. Hello to WV.
Theory had said that neutron stars are possible, but for decades, astronomers and physicists clung to the view that it just isn't real. Bell's discovery is dramatic confirmation that the universe is stranger and more fantastic than anything we experience in our corner of the cosmos. The reality of neutron stars stirs excitement that black holes may also be real.
Brutus, I'm from
They are perhaps
Santhorpe
more
in
fantastic
Queensland,
than unlikely
Australia.
physicists.
I haven't been to America.
World War I had just broken out when Albert Einstein publishes his general theory of relativity.
Yeah, alright, Greg,
Among
you
those
take
fighting
that.
on the Russian front is a German astronomer and physicist named Karl Schwarzschild. With the war raging around him, Schwarzschild discovers that Einstein's equations predict the existence of a star so unimaginably dense that even light cannot escape it.
Hello to Canada.
From the battlefield, he sends Einstein his calculations. Just weeks after receiving Einstein's reply, Schwarzschild dies.
Yeah, alright, Greg.
Einstein marvels at Schwarzschild's work, but he never accepts that such a
Hello
star
to
could really exist.
Ohio.
As he puts it, it just doesn't smell right.
Hello, West Virginia.
Through the 1960s,
I'm planting finger lines, Doug.
But the public is completely taken with the idea of a dark star for which escape is impossible.
Nah. Sorry, Greg. Alright, I'll name one Mary for you.
890.
there?
Then use long-range intensifier. 3 guesses, if you need them.
A black hole. My God. We're falling into a black hole.
The existence of a real black hole is almost impossible for physicists to accept.
Yeah, will
But
do.
many have to admit that the process that creates neutron stars should also create black holes.
When a star has burned up all its nuclear fuel and there is no longer heat that pushes it out, that the core collapses and it can form a neutron star. This collapse can be so strong, depending upon the original mass of the star, that it overshoots and doesn't become a neutron star, but becomes even smaller, and then it can become a black hole. If you take the Earth, to give you an example, and you take a vice, if you could take a vice and you squeeze the Earth has a radius of 6,400 kilometers. If you could make the radius 3 centimeters, the Earth would become a black hole. 3 centimeters, this big. Then it would automatically further collapse onto itself, nothing could stop it, and it would become a black hole. And you could never, light could never leave it, radio waves could not leave it, because they all go with the speed of light.
Finding something that doesn't give off light or any other kind of radiation is tricky, to say the least. It's not until the early 70s that astronomers stumble on the first indirect evidence of a black hole. The first clue comes when X-ray telescopes revealed an area of intense violence and temperature in the constellation Cygnus. Paul Merton is one of many astronomers who began to focus.
Today I had 200 plans. I've already put in hot 100.
Logically, the supergiant must be circling a much smaller and denser star. One so dense, its gravity is sucking huge amounts of matter from its larger companion. Only this could produce the intense X-rays other astronomers had detected. Further measurements reveal the small star's gravity must be greater than anything discovered before. The only explanation is a black hole. There is still no absolute proof that black holes exist. But from the 1970s on, most scientists have come to
They can probably go nearly maybe till Christmas in the pot.
But real.
These ones probably next Christmas if I'm lucky, or maybe Christmas after 2 Christmases. After this one.
So be it, it's there. And okay, it rotates 700 times per second. But a black hole has no surface. So you can't even talk about a surface that rotates. And there is no time that you can define. That is the star. That goes beyond, totally beyond my imagination. I'll be very honest with you.
Yes, I do work, Brutus.
One of my specialties. I measure them,
This
I
ain't
find
my
them.
job, this is...
Can I envision them?
Sort of will be my job maybe in the future, but at the moment I work for somebody else.
Current theory holds that there are billions of black holes.
I've just been on holiday.
Including enormous ones at the center of most galaxies. These are so large, they must...
Benji's already got one, if he was watching, and they were watching earlier this morning. Rory Pascoe, I'm planting out finger limes. Yeah, I'm from Australia.
For most of human existence, the question of how everything began is one that only religion dared to answer. But with Edwin Hubble's discovery that the universe is expanding, some scientists begin to believe that they too might have something.
I go play video games mostly.
If the universe is expanding, then in the past it must have been smaller.
Or else
Go far enough
go
back,
for drives out of
everything must
town.
have been crunched together at a point of infinite density.
Fishing if I
The universe began,
feel like it.
they suggest, when that point exploded, creating the expansion we still see today. This vision comes to be called the Big
No, I don't really. Well, I've got Red Dead 2, but I can't play nothing online on the Xbox because since Telstra made me go on to off the Ultimate Unlimited plan they used to offer, I haven't been able to play anything online.
In the early 60s, Robert Dickey and
I do have Modern Warfare 2, the new one, on my laptop that I play a little bit, because I get at least some good ping on that.
He's convinced that if it happened, the entire universe should be filled with radiation left from the moment of creation.
Bob Dickey's reasoning was quite interesting. He reasoned
I'm from
that
Queensland.
if the universe had gone
Hijinks.
through this Big Bang phase, it must have been very hot and very dense. And
I'm planting finger lines.
a lot of heat radiation, very high temperature. And he couldn't find any theoretical way to get rid of this radiation.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting Starlink,
Cool off because the universe
but
expanded.
the $1,000 startup was to
in the
kill it.
microwave band, the band where radar works.
Yeah, no, Red Dead did love playing that on the PS3 when it first came out. Red Dead 1.
Into low-level radio static.
There's a few different endings for it.
If it's there,
Like some of the games, they have multiple endings depending on how you play.
Nice thing about
$1,000 to get Starlink.
another young physicist,
Satellite internet.
and searched for
So you gotta pay for the dish. And your first month up front, it's about $1,080.
particular hurry because Bob Dickey's idea was so original, we weren't too worried about somebody else getting
So I was still working for the bloke I was working for and go way out the middle of freaking nowhere.
No microwave equipment.
Way out bush for the bees. Could have packed it up, taken it with, and we had internet.
Dug around in the World War II surplus.
Yeah, the hardware is $1,000
cheap.
or $950.
They're rather frugal experimentalists, so
Yeah, that's what we call it here, and a lot of other companies call it the Australia tax, because we're so far away from everything.
that resulted.
We got to pay top dollar to get it shipped here.
Super cold helium. While Wilkinson is building it, two other scientists just 30 miles away are setting up an experiment that seems to have nothing to do with the Big Bang.
And then it's $130 a month.
Penzias, Bob Wilson plans to use this microwave antenna to study our galaxy. He's unaware of Dickey's idea. In fact, he doesn't believe in the Big Bang, but prefers a universe with no beginning or end.
I like the steady state.
Case of beer, it depends on what beer you want. They range
in the future. It goes on forever in the same sort of state.
anywhere between, say, like $50 a carton for some decent stuff, right up to about $70 for some fancy beer.
Have a time beyond which they can't know anything.
Wilson and Penzias are then just getting
Or else if you go out to the brewery, the craft brewery I used to work at, now it'd be probably about $80 for a carton of beer from them.
They just want to make some small contribution to astronomy.
Yes, I do have kids, but they're
Doing science by ourselves.
they're with their mothers.
We sort of had a chance at Bell Labs to become scientists.
Yeah, 24 in a carton.
And make use of this unique instrument. And we really...
Occasionally you might like get the barbed wire, 2 for 60. I don't know.
The Holmdel antenna.
2 for like 70 or something like that. I don't know. Don't really drink a lot of beer.
But for the very first time they use it, extraneous noise is exactly what it seems to be picking up.
I don't think it's 120 for a carton of Jack Daniels here.
Started up,
Two
we saw
kids.
the same noise level. Everywhere in the sky we pointed, we saw the same noise
I think maybe here in Stanthorpe it's about 80 for a carton.
But they fear it's enough to compromise some of their research. So they decide to find out what's causing it and get rid of it.
Me, I drink
They check to see if it's there.
What is it? That Singleton single malt whiskey.
They're in different seasons. They check all possible.
There's not really many beers I can drink.
They check
today I'm trying to hit 200 planted.
They double check every piece of equipment in the system, and the noise is always there. With few alternatives left to try, they decide to check a real long shot.
A set of pigeons had started roosting up in the throat of the thing, and of course they coated it with the same white pigeon droppings that you see on statues and so forth in the city. We got a ladder from the carpenters and a couple of push brooms and some scrub brushes, and scraped off the difficult ones and swept the whole thing out.
Man, not all that. Not everyone here makes good money.
A year of this struggle has left them convinced.
Yeah, I'm from Stanthorpe.
The only possibility left that doesn't make sense is that every corner of the universe is filled with the same noise. Desperate, they begin.
Yeah, my ex is out in Warwick.
And one suggests calling Bob Dixie.
The phone rang, and Bob picked it up. And it was two guys from Bell Labs.
We didn't have any kids with her.
Which at first didn't seem to have anything to do with us.
We didn't learn very much on the telephone, but they agreed to come out and see what we had done and tell us about what they had in mind.
He hung up the phone, and I'll never forget exactly what he said. These are his exact words. He said, well,
yeah, drink a nice coffee.
Robert Wilson and Arno Penzias have already heard the echo of the Big Bang. They're annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of out in the sticks.
Than a whisper from creation itself.
Closest shop, like major shops, 25 k's away. I started back up again, Big H.
Billion years ago.
It got a bit hot here earlier. Once that midday sun starts hitting,
1 minute later, it's a billion
different sort of thing when you're walking in it than just sitting in it.
It still has an average temperature of 1 billion degrees. The universe continues to expand and cool. Gradually, gravity draws together atoms, and then clumps of atoms. It takes 1 billion years before stars form and galaxies are created.
Joe, I'm from Stanthorpe in Queensland.
Eventually, around some of the stars, planets form. And on at least one, life begins. When we look at nature, we see
Thanks for the follow.
The differences among things. But scientists
I'm planting finger limes, Corey.
Simplicity
Thank you, Benji.
The more you learn about nature, the simpler it looks. And that's why I think we will find a final theory. Because although I can imagine things getting infinitely more complicated, complication without end, I can't imagine simplicity without end. The whole progress of physics
it is 6:33 p.m. here.
Description of nature. And how simple can things get? I mean, simplicity must
Put your name on one in a second, Reaper.
Terminate. There must be something so simple that we can't imagine anything more simple.
But the beginners find succeed. Physicists are stunned to find their dream of ultimate simplicity slipping away. Experiments meant to reveal simplicity find ever greater complexity.
Berkeley, California, home of the Bevatron. The BEV stands for billions of electron volts, the world's most powerful atom smasher.
It's the beginning of the era of big science. Giant atom smashers are built to accelerate subatomic particles to fantastic speeds and smash them into other atoms.
Each new accelerator built after the war was more powerful. Each new accelerator built after the war was more powerful than before. Each was able to ram particles into each other harder.
Yes, I can put one on your name.
Smaller and smaller
Name on a pot. Reaper. No, Brutus.
That was built, you could see further out into space, gather more light, resolve objects more precisely. With each new accelerator, people were able to see deeper into matter, more precisely, better resolution, smaller scale.
Photographs of the tracks of the objects produced in these accelerators reveal a multitude of new particles that seem just as fundamental as the familiar proton, neutron, and electron.
Well, it depends on whether they're actually seedlings or from cuttings.
1 year out of
like from cuttings, they take about 12 months. But if they're from seed, I could be waiting another 3 to 6 years.
Particle that year should win the Nobel Prize in physics.
There were hundreds and hundreds of particles which looked just as elementary as the proton. It became clear that if elementary meant anything, either there's something more elementary inside these particles, or perhaps they're all elementary. That's my big idea.
Among the physicists unhappy with all this complication is a brash young theorist named Murray Gell-Mann.
Oh, good, Jesse.
25, Gell-Mann is already well
good name for a dog. Is he a big dog? Like big, Roddy, or is he a little Chihuahua?
And his frequently abrasive personal style. A colleague says of him, Murray has no particular talent for physics, but he's so smart, he's a great physicist anyway.
The important thing is first to steep yourself in the problem, to look at the puzzle, all the pieces of the puzzle.
By looking for patterns and symmetries,
yeah, you're welcome, Nanya.
To organize all the newly discovered particles into atoms. Then, inspired by a chance encounter during a visit to Columbia University in New York, he takes a giant step toward simplicity.
Pity's not a bad dog.
Over lunch, a physicist approached him and said,
that me living next to a cattle station can't really have anything bigger than maybe a poodle.
Well, everyone at that table dismissed that idea immediately, and they patiently explained to this physicist what was wrong.
It goes wandering and it gets to see, Zach, I am planting single limes.
+1 or -1 in charge, never 1/3 or 2/3.
Yeah, good night, Reaper. You have a good one.
Gell-Mann grows to love the idea of this deeper level of reality. The fact no one's ever seen particles.
Yeah, 2:30 a.m. That's a bit late. I'm generally in bed by that time myself.
In early 1964, Gell-Mann proposes to the world the existence of 3 new fundamental entities he calls quarks.
His 3 quarks could combine in different ways to reproduce the properties of this enormous particle zoo. It would simplify, organize, predict. It was a great scientific advance. The problem was that no one had ever seen anything that looked like a quark.
Now, what are the quarks? Are they actually real objects? Well,
thanks, Jesse.
Friends are making a search for them in all sorts of places. One atomic spectroscopist friend of mine calls me up sometimes at midnight.
Well, my belief is you try and treat everyone how you wish to be treated.
Most things with curious chemical behavior in the ocean end up eaten by oysters. And so now he's grinding.
Yeah, gotta do things to invest in the future.
And looking for the
that's for sure.
So far there are no quarks.
physicists were faced with a paradox. Where were the quarks?
Yeah, no, nearly everybody wants everything handed to them for nothing nowadays.
And in fact, some physicists even began to doubt the correctness of the theory. However, over the years,
like a lot of the young ones
evidence began to trickle in confirming this theory.
Not all of the young ones, but some of the young ones I know just keep wanting everything handed to them for nothing.
Quarks may be
Don't
real,
even,
but they're
like you
still
say, well,
strange.
you want 200 bucks? I got a day's work you can do. No, I don't want to do a day's work, just give me 200 bucks.
As points.
Points? What do you mean points? How can somebody have a mass and a charge and be a point? Well, it takes a few muscles in the arm that haven't been worked on. But if you work on them for a while, you can imagine such an object. It's a little bit like
yeah, here's the problem. Settling.
Sitting on the tree, smiling, and Alice is noticing that the cat is
really,
in front of her
to get
eyes.
their settling, Woolies are looking for people. Woolies don't need to pay them. You just do your 15, 20 hours a fortnight. While you're on your center, you get your center.
Spherical, if you like.
And you get a Woolies discount while you're at it. And Woolies don't have to pay you.
In front of your eyes, it's
Like if you don't want to actually work, go to a few hours.
Behind, its spin, its charge, its mass, and if it has a smile, anything behind its smile. That's
solve the work issue we have right now.
With quarks, physics journey into the heart of matter takes a tiny step toward its goal of finding an ultimate particle from which everything is made. Instead of hundreds of
well, when I was on settling, I used to like going and doing my work for the dole, and then after I finish my mandatory bit, I keep going, because, well, if I can't get a job, I may as well be doing something for the community, because they had me volunteering at the local St. Vincent de Paul.
The search for a single fundamental particle is matched by the search for a single force that governs the behavior of everything.
Yeah, I'm diversifying into a lot of different sort of natives and that. I might even get into doing my heirloom variety, like watermelon pumpkin.
When Einstein was working on
all that.
He recognized
it's a bit late
gravity and electromagnetism.
Now to be doing
but today physicists have to deal with
the watermelons and that.
The strong force and the weak force.
The weak force is responsible for many forms of radioactivity. The strong force holds our nucleus together.
Hello, the land down under.
All have positive charges. And if there was nothing to hold them together, the electric
what part of the country are you from?
Because
I live with my dad.
are repelled. The strong force prevents that from
too expensive to try and rent here.
One of the physicists who played a key role
like 350, 400 bucks a week for a house in town. Not going to hand out half my wages just to rent.
The weak and the strong.
Oh yeah, I'm in Queensland, the land down under. No one does my hair. I might need to go see a hairdresser again soon and get it cut. I'm planting finger limes.
And gradually, just reading about it, I became aware that what went on inside an atom was something that couldn't be explained in terms of ordinary things that I knew about in everyday life. And,
no.
Something strange
like Logan's, like
about
160 k's straight line that way. Mullumbimby's that way.
Stayed with Weinberg through college and grad school. In the late 60s,
Australian Kiss. I think I do, but I've never had one.
To make sense of the strong that holds atomic nuclei together.
Yeah, it has been pretty warm. I think the day was about 30, 31.
This kind of mathematical idea, although it's a complete loser as far as the strong forces are concerned, is just what we need to make a theory of the weak force. And to my surprise, although certainly not my disappointment, what came out at the end was not just the theory of the weak forces, but inevitably a unified theory of weak electromagnetic forces.
All of a sudden, from 4 fundamental forces, we now had 3 fundamental forces. And this changed the entire terrain.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Painter Man.
In order to test
Corrupted, I'm from Queensland.
the European community spends a staggering
Vaseline, baby,
$150
nah, no moonshine.
and make more powerful its largest particle accelerator.
The protons are in the machine.
That stuff's for what? Rocket fuel. Well, years ago, my dad used to make some good, as they called it, grappa, like distill out old wine.
Created in these collisions lies the evidence that confirms the correctness of the electroweak unification. The 4 fundamental forces are now 3. But just as 3 types of particles doesn't satisfy, neither does 3 forces. In the mid-1980s, work begins on what most physicists believe is the key to getting even closer to the heart of matter. It's called the Superconducting Super Collider, or SSC.
I'm just south here, Corrupted. I'm in Stanford, Southern Downs.
The conditions of the universe in its first trillionth of a second.
I'm planting out finger limes.
It was to be a device so large it would enclose towns inside it. It was a machine that would require buses to go from one front to another. It was a machine that would ship volumes of data equivalent to the entire Library of Congress out to distant laboratories around the world with amazing frequency. The detectors, the sites where the actual physics would be conducted, would cost $1 billion apiece and have somewhere near 1,000 physicists and probably an equivalent number of technicians at each one.
But in 1993, after an investment of $2 billion, the SSC is halted.
Maybe about 40 more to plant.
Years of escalating costs have eroded congressional support. The message to scientists is,
no, make that 70 total.
Force. Physicists are devastated.
Thank you, Samuel.
When the American particle physics community gambled on the SSC, they had essentially shut down program after program
about 50
in the hopes
of the ones I'm doing.
They could convince the politicians that by making these sacrifices, they should receive the amount of funds necessary to build the superconductor.
Thanks for the follows.
When the SSC was canceled,
I'm going to have to start moving these out so I got room to keep going. I'll keep checking in. Yeah, it is quite relaxing.
Even still, the search for unification goes on. In the 1980s, theorists proposed that at the heart of everything are infinitesimally small vibrating strings. String theory, quite simply, is the most exciting idea to hit physics since the days of Einstein and Bohr. It may well be the final theory, the one that explains absolutely everything.
The Pythagoreans believed that music was the language of nature, that the harmonies on a violin string, which they worked out for the first time in history, were the harmonies of the universe. And they thought that all around us, surrounding us, was music, the music of the spheres. Unfortunately, that idea never got anywhere, because that couldn't explain the elements. Now we think that if I have a super powerful microscope and could peer into an electron, I would see a vibrating violin string. And when that note changes, it changes into a quark. It changes into...
Chill out, I'm planning out finger limes.
So in other words, our bodies are nothing but collections of strings. And the laws governing these strings are the harmonies of the string, and they are the laws of physics.
Theorists usually imagine strings as incredibly small, closed loops, more like rubber bands than anything else. Ordinary matter, even space, time, and energy, are nothing more than the vibrations of strings. To physicists, they are beautiful, elegant, simple, everything they dream about.
This is my second time today going live, and second time total. Might try and go live maybe once a week if I can.
Definition of an index. topology of the superspace can only be generated by the topology of the bosonic manifold. Mathematics or theoretical physicists really is an extrasensory organ. I cannot make myself as small as an atom. I cannot make myself the size of a proton. But with mathematics, I have an accurate representation of that, and then I can use my mind to actually look at those small things.
One of the strangest things about string theory is that it only works if there are 10 or more dimensions.
Some people say to us,
Yeah, got a fair few over there now.
violates common sense. Well, why should common sense...
I don't really know whether it is the right time, but
Why should the universe care about your
to
common
plant
sense?
them out, but
So we physicists
it's all a learning.
We are prisoners of experiment.
Oh, $2 each, these ones. I lose a few. I'm not too worried, but my bigger ones, I paid like $20 each for them. So I don't really want to lose them.
In a way that physicists have never used mathematics before.
In 10 dimensions, we can look at the entire picture.
I used to live up in Bowen, Jen. I'll be back in a minute.
More mathematical, more and more esoteric, unfortunately, and most unfortunately evolve further and further removed from experimental verification. But in a sense, it's the only game in town. It's the only hope we have of unifying everything.
What we are talking about now is understanding all 4 fundamental forces. That's the power of this theory. We're talking about a theory of the universe.
Yeah, I lived up in Bowen in
Color television. The answer is no.
2011.
It's not going to give you a bigger toaster. It's not going to give you better sliced bread. What it will give you is a theory that will affect the future course of
Naughty and lofty, they both mean something to me, but whether they're the same, naughty or lofty.
To harness the power.
Travis, I'm growing. You ever been told I have a few lookalikes? Yeah, Travis, I'm growing finger limes.
But if it isn't, physicists are sure to keep searching.
I think it's almost a religious belief that things must somehow very deep down be simple. And that we are to some degree blind and don't see this simplicity, but are searching for it. Now that's what physics has been doing always. Very difficult processes, very difficult phenomena, which seemingly are unrelated.
Mantis Toboggan. I'm on holidays at the moment, but I'm going back to work to finish up the last few loads of the bees with the Bloco contractor. Yeah, Lucas sounds familiar, but quite lofty Lucas. I know a lot of people, but then there's some people I've just lost touch with over the years.
At this and other telescopes around the world, they're measuring light from stars halfway across the universe. Then Bob Kirshner and his colleagues will use those measurements with Einstein's equations to calculate the approximate mass of the entire cosmos.
This is not easy. I don't know what we're supposed to do except just sit there and
If Kirshner finds enough mass, it means the universe will one day stop expanding and will collapse back upon itself in what astronomers call the Big Crunch. If he finds less than that amount, the universe will expand forever into virtual nothingness.
Well, there is a lofty, bloke named Lofty down here. I don't think he'd be the same.
And so it's very laborious and it's slow and you sit there and it takes all night for these photons to dribble in. But the thing that makes it exciting, even thrilling in a kind of quiet way, is that we're after a big question. We're really after the question that people have been interested in for a long time, ever since they could kind of frame the question. What is the fate of the universe? Is it going to last forever? How will things end? These are big questions, and we're really on a path that could give us a concrete answer
in the context of how we understand the universe today.
Hello, all the new viewers.
Possibilities is really the right one. So that's a lot of fun and it keeps you awake at night.
Calculating the total mass of the universe will also shed light on what may be the biggest question facing 21st century astronomy, the mystery of dark matter. That matter we can't see, but we know must be out there, because we've measured its gravitational effect on the things we can't see. Telescopes as disparate as the newly refurbished 100-inch that George Hale built atop Mount Wilson, to the Hubble Space Telescope in orbit around the Earth.
Peter, I'm planting out finger lime seedlings I've just received in the post.
Theorists believe
Next week I'm expecting another 50-something, but the next 50 I'm getting a little bit bigger than these.
That the Earth wasn't the center of the universe. Okay? Then we learned indeed that the Sun wasn't the center of the universe, and our galaxy isn't the center of the universe. Now we're learning that this dark matter, which may be made of stuff which is completely different than anything we see on Earth, is the dominant stuff of creation. That means if you took away you and me and the stars and everything we see in the universe, the real universe would still be there.
Physicists and astronomers have shown us a universe more amazing than we ever suspected, and a reality stranger than we ever dreamed.
Yeah, more the better.
And the future promises to dazzle
So, with the next lot coming, that'll make, well, for these babies, my others, I'll have about 300 in total.
Is the mysterious. It is the source of all.
Basically, I'm a farmer hippie. Yeah, I remember, if you're the same test, is that you, Christian? Marshall? You test that went out with Veronica, Chuck's sister? I'm based in Stanthorpe. It's been a long time since I've seen you, Tess. Yeah, no, Sasha. You and her have been together since basically, yeah, I last saw you. They're gonna keep these growing. Don Dawson, I'm from Stanthorpe in Queensland. Mandy, I'm growing finger limes. That's good. Yeah, I've been alright myself. Thanks, Christian. Hello, little miss. Come here. Yes, it's legal. right, girl. Come on. Hello, GT.
Listen to me.
No, she's had her for about the last 11 years.
A wise human. Life. A miracle in the universe appeared around 4
Yeah, one of my other cats, he don't want to come. GT.
Yet we have succeeded in deflecting the balance that is so essential to life. Listen carefully to this extraordinary story, which is yours, and decide what you want to do with it.
Pinch my heart? No, they're citrus.
It's just a wish and a chain of innumerable living beings that have succeeded one another on Earth over nearly 4 billion years. And even today, new volcanoes continue.
I'm from Queensland. Pinchy? Pinch my heart.
Surging from the depths, solidifying, cracking, blistering, or spreading in a thin crust before falling dormant for a time. These wreaths of smoke curling from the bowels of the earth bear witness to the Earth's original atmosphere, an atmosphere devoid of oxygen. A dense
Yeah, I think they've changed all that much in the last 5 years.
A furnace.
Chill it out, I was up in Bowen 2011.
The earth cooled. The water vapor condensed and fell in torrential downpours. At the right distance from the sun, not too far, not too near, the earth's perfect balance enabled it to conserve water in liquid form. The water cut channels. They are like the veins of a body, the branches of a tree, the vessels of the sap that the water gave to the earth. The rivers tore minerals from the rocks and gradually added them to fresh water of the ocean. And the oceans returned filled with salt. Where do we come from? Where did life first spark into being? A miracle of time. Primitive life forms.
Yeah, Bow Desert, that's pretty close.
They give them their colors.
Just up out of over that way to the northeast.
They all feed off the earth's heat. All except the cyanobacteria, or blue-green algae. They alone have the capacity to turn to the sun to capture its energy.
Too early to be making lime juice yet. No, I'm going to try and see what local market I can get with the pubs and all that, so they can maybe try selling them with the beers and their seafood when they do have them in the restaurant.
Its atmosphere.
Apparently that's what they're really good with.
What happened to the carbon that poisoned the atmosphere? It's still here, imprisoned in the Earth's crust. Here, there once was a sea inhabited by microorganisms. They grew themselves by tapping into carbon from the atmosphere, dissolved in the ocean.
Smoke? What do you mean?
These strata are the accumulated shells of those
Smoke a few cigarettes and...
of microorganisms.
Yeah, citrus caviar is what they're
Thanks to them, the
also
carbon
known
rose
as.
in the atmosphere and other life forms could develop.
It is life that alters the atmosphere. Plant life fed off the sun's energy, which enabled it to break apart the water molecule and take the oxygen.
I do have my vape beside me, but
the Earth's water cycle is a process of constant renewal. Water falls, water vapor, clouds, rain, spring, rivers, seas, oceans.
Oh, energy these.
The cycle is never broken. There's always the same quantity of water on Earth. All the successive species on Earth drunk the same water. The astonishing matter that is water.
Yeah, I hope they grow awesome for myself too.
It takes a liquid form as running water, gaseous as vapor, or solid as ice.
I might just have to turn the light on out here, or it starts getting too dark.
Containing the traces of the forces that water deploys when it freezes. Lighter than water, the ice floats. It forms a protective mantle against the cold, under which life can go on.
Hello, Ryan. Not normal. GT, it wasn't like that, but when my half-brother was here, I think either him or someone else that was staying here did something to him. Well, he comes for pats whenever the hell he wants. Would love it if it would snow here in winter every year, but it doesn't do that where I'm from. Maybe once every 30 years it'll snow. I'll take it. I am Joshua Lynham is who I am.
The green expanse peeking through the clouds is the source of oxygen.
I'm from Stanthorpe in Queensland. Take it.
Without which our lungs cannot function. Comes from the algae that tint the surface of the ocean. Our Earth relies on the balance, in which every breed has a role to play.
Hello, Newfoundland, Canada.
A subtle, fragile harmony that is easily shattered.
Well, depending on where you're from, Benji, it snowed here in Stanthorpe in 2015.
But they provide a habitat for thousands of species of fish, mollusks, and algae. The equilibrium of every ocean depends on it.
Good morning, UK.
The Earth passed time in billions of years. It took more than 4 billion years for it to make trees. In numerous species, trees are a pinnacle of perfect living sculpture. Trees defy gravity. They are the only natural element in perpetual movement toward the sky. They grow unhurriedly toward the sun that nourishes their foliage. They have inherited from those minuscule cyanobacteria the power to capture light's energy. They store it and feed off it.
Applethorpe, that's not far from me. That's pretty close.
A mixture of water, mineral, vegetable, and living matter.
I'm planting finger limes.
And so, gradually, soils are formed. teem with the incessant activity of microorganisms feeding, digging, aerating, and transforming. They make the humus, the fertile layer to which all life on land is linked.
No, I don't know.
What do we know about life on Earth?
Hello, Sasha.
How many species are we aware of? A tenth of them? 100, perhaps? What do we know about the bonds that link them?
That's my dad's caravan. Girlfriends.
The Earth is a miracle. Life remains a mystery.
Yeah, been alright, but it could be better. And probably not.
Families of animals form, united by customs and rituals that are handed down for generations. Some adapt to the nature of their pasture, and their pasture adapts to them. And both gain. The animal sates its hunger, and the tree can blossom again.
I don't know whether I really need a mod yet. I can sort of keep up reading. But thanks for the offer, Sasha. I'm from Stanthorpe, Queensland.
In the great adventure of life on Earth, every species has a role to play. Every species has its place. None is futile or harmful. They all balance out.
Yeah, that's her. No, I don't live in the caravan.
And that's where you, Homo sapiens, wise human, enter the story. You benefit from a fabulous 4 billion-year-old legacy bequeathed by the Earth. You're only 200,000 years old, and you have changed the face of the world.
You want it that way?
Despite your vulnerability, you have taken possession of every habitat and conquered swaths of territory like no other species before you.
I haven't got any limes off my
After 180,000 nomadic
things yet.
and thanks to a more clement climate, humans settled down. They no longer depended on hunting for survival. They chose to live in vast environments that abounded in fish, game, and wild plants.
Yeah, you take care, Jesse. You too.
Even today, the majority of humankind lives on the continent's coastlines or the banks of rivers and lakes. person lives as humankind did 6,000 years ago.
I don't really have a cameraman.
That which nature provides, season after season. It's the way of life of 1.5 billion people, more than the
Their finger line.
of all the wealthy nations.
Yeah, I'll do that next time I go live. So far today, probably nearing up to the 150. Planning it out today.
But life expectancy is short, and hard labor takes its toll. The uncertainties of nature weigh on daily life. Education is a rare privilege. Children are a family's only asset, as long as every extra pair of hands is a necessary contribution to its
Same old stand banger. I had New Year's up at Rissa's and Brook. Well, typical Brook.
Humanity's genius is to have always
Man, nothing really that hard to find out where I am.
the physical energy and strength with which nature insufficiently endowed humans.
Yeah, it's still a shit place.
Help them to discover new territories. But how can you
I'm starting myself a finger lime farm.
The invention of agriculture turned our
MJ's, I got no idea what's put in it. What do you haven't put in it?
10,000 years ago.
I might come there.
Agriculture was our first great revolution. It resulted in the first surpluses and gave birth to cities and civilizations. The memory of thousands of years scrabbling for food faded. Having made grain the yeast of life, we multiplied the number of varieties and learned to adapt them to our soils and climates.
And pork sausages.
We're like every species on Earth. Our principal
I don't know how they started really. Like, I've just bought them as what they are. But everything that I've read, you put them in the soil and then you need smoked vermiculite to get the seeds to actually sprout.
Humans shape the land with the patience and devotion that the earth demands in an almost sacrificial ritual performed over and over. Agriculture is still the world's most widespread occupation. Half of humankind tills the soil. Over 3/4 of them by hand.
Those types are. fork sword.
Is like a tradition handed down from generation to generation in sweat, graft, and toil.
You know, I got some seeds, but I haven't had any luck because I don't have the smoke vermiculite. So I might have to get some and try again, maybe, or just keep going the more expensive route and just buy them already going. Yeah, bull's milk only comes from the one teat the bull has.
These flames are also from plants, a pocket of sunlight, pure energy, the energy of the sun, captured over millions of years by millions of plants more than 100 million years ago. It's cold, it's gas, and above all, it's oil. And this pocket of sunlight freed humans from their toil on the land. With oil began the
Yeah, still going.
who break free of the shackles of time.
Great news, I'm planting
Some of us acquired unprecedented
finger limes.
and in 50 years, in a single lifetime, the Earth has been more radically changed than by all previous generations of humanity.
It is 7:20 here. In the evening.
Faster and faster. In the last 50 years, the Earth's population has been and over 2 billion people have moved to the
Some documentary is what I'm listening to on YouTube.
Shenzhen in China, with its hundreds of skyscrapers and millions of small skyscrapers have been built, hundreds more are under construction. New York, the world's first megalopolis, is the symbol of the exploitation of the energy the Earth supplies to human beings. Manpower.
How do I do that?
The energy of coal, the unbridled power of oil. America is the first to harness the phenomenal revolutionary power of black gold. In the fields, machines replace men. Real oil generates as much energy as 100 pairs of hands in 24 hours. In the United States, they produce
Yeah. Hey, man.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, man. Oh, shit. Hold up. Christian?
Go on, brother.
Yeah, fuck all.
Just having dinner.
Yeah, what are you having?
Fucking toasties, bro. Toasties.
Yeah, nothing beats the old toasty.
Is it cold there or what?
Huh?
Is it cold there or what?
Nah, it's starting to cool off now. It's been quite a hot one today.
Hold up 1 second. Turn the TV down. Oh, you want to say hello? Say hi, Joe.
Hello.
That's our youngest one.
How many you got now?
We've got 6.
Ouch.
Five boys, 1 girl.
At least you finally have, well, not pick and pair, but
Boys! Have kids, they say it'll be fun. How many have you got now?
I've only got 2.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, I was commenting on this dude because he was being an ass. I was just like, he reckons your parents' cousins. I was like, no, but I'm gonna do your mum. I was like, F you, mate. Fuck off.
Yeah, there are some nasty people out there.
Yeah.
That
What are
just
you
can't.
doing?
Hun?
Oh, she's trying to attack me. Go away, mate.
You're looking old there, Josh.
What was that, Tish?
Looking a bit old there, mate. What are you now, 52?
36.
He's only 2 years older than you.
Yeah, that's true, too. I'm getting old, don't worry about that.
You're not much older than me, I don't think, Tish.
No, I'm 33.
No, 34.
34.
So you're only a year younger than me. I'm 35 until March.
No, through that.
I'm just reading the comments. Don't you be...
Fuck the haters.
Yeah, fuck them all.
Some of them have been alright.
Some of them been alright. Some of the comments I'm just like, oh, like that Hayden person is like, oh, he finally blocked me with a crying face. MJSP69 said they'll mod.
Yeah,
Hayden's like, can you read? Yes, I can read. Do you want to read my fucking lips wrapped around your mum's face? Nothing better to do. 6 kids. Yes, we have 6 children together. We're in Aussie. This gonna make you SB said we're in Aussie. Love.
What are you growing, Josh?
Hun?
What are you growing?
Finger limes.
Finger limes. What are
the
those?
fuck is that?
Look them up on Google.
Where'd you go? Boys, don't you wreck those balloons. I'm having a look now. I've heard of normal limes, but not finger limes.
Yeah, they're actually Australian native.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Google. Oh, how do you use your phone, Christian? Google. No, I took it off charge because my phone was going flat. Shut up, kid. Go to bed. Good night. Finger. Oh. Christian, your phone's not retarded. What are finger limes?
Finger limes, yes.
Why are you wrapped up in all these balloons? Mum, what's on this? Oh, bro. Pardon? Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Finger line. Oh, hey. Christian can't go live yet. Oh, here, look, Christian. Can you? Oh, yeah, it got reinstated, hey.
Yeah, my ex, she had to get to 1,000 to go live, and I only had to hit 500.
Looks like snow peas on the outside and caviar on the inside. Yeah, that's what I'm just looking at. They're pretty cool.
Well, if I can export them to Europe, I know I can get $300 a kilo.
Fuck yeah. Turn that light on, Christian. I need to put this light on. Oh. Where's the light switch? That one, eh? Yeah. There we go. Where's the tank? 300 something dollars he gets a kilo. If he wins each when he sells them.
Really?
Yeah. Hell in Perth. This chick's in Perth.
Yeah, I was over in Perth in 2008.
Is that a vape?
Yeah.
Yuck.
cigarettes are yuck.
Get inside.
Get inside now. We're talking to a friend that we haven't spoken to in years. Move. Hello.
Hello.
Goodbye, child. Goodbye, child. Oh, he's a smart ass.
20 kilos a tree.
Wow. 20 kilos for a tree. 20 kilos for a tree. I'm like, yuck to the bait. Yuck. And that Benji Williams reckons yuck as she's lighting up a ciggy.
I don't smoke.
No, we don't smoke. No, we don't smoke.
I quit smoking.
You quit smoking, did you, Tess?
Hey?
You quit smoking, did you?
Oh, for 2 years I did. And then I had kids and started up again. They sent me over the edge. I'm still drinking a lot of piss, but...
Yeah, I haven't really drunk all that much.
Yeah.
Since 2013.
Oh, yeah?
I did have two drinks on New Year's with Rissa and all them.
Oh, yeah.
Sasha would know Rissa.
Carissa?
Yeah.
Why not?
Rissa.
One minute girl? Who? Which one?
What's that? Rissa Bichetti.
Yeah, she's with, what's his name? Hey.
No, she's with no one at the moment.
Oh, did they split up?
I think he went to jail.
Oh, what?
So you're going to hook in there, Josh?
No, another Josh is in there.
Hey?
There's another Josh already trying, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, Joshua Lynham.
No, Josh Hayes.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know, I don't think.
Yeah, she's that, who was she with all those years ago? I forgot what his name was.
Shay.
Who?
Shay.
Shane.
No, Shay,
Kavanagh.
No, what's his name? Shay Fenton.
That's it.
I don't know him.
No, he's now with Jade Hayes.
Trump 2024. Sorry, we're Aussie, mate. We don't go for Trump.
Right, Riss is up on Folkestone on the end. And then Shane and his new girlfriend live down in Thorpe Street.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Are you still out on the farm?
Yeah, it's still out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
No, I think Trump's going to bloody jail from what I see.
Trump is my daddy. No, my daddy's name's David. Sorry.
I was close to jail.
Yeah, Trump's supposed to be going to jail for all his tax fraud he's done over the years.
Yeah, just don't worry about it.
Dumb shit, that's why.
Well,
I think everyone ends up in jail.
How else
I think everyone
all these billionaires become billionaires?
Yeah,
they
then
don't pay their tax.
Yeah. I think everyone from Stanthorpe will go to jail.
I'm going to mute this. Bye.
I've been limited the abilities to, cause
I reckon it's this person here, so I'm about to mute them.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, not that one. I can't even mute them. Why can't I mute them?
It just went from daylight to dark there.
It did, eh?
So why is everybody else allowed to smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and all
It's
that
only
in their
a
lives?
You don't get banned. It's only a warning.
Yeah, it'll stay on there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what it said. I'm limited for 10 minutes.
Mate, I got banned from fucking having to go to TikTok. I did. I had a big discussion about them on live one day, and they banned me for like 10 minutes.
My ex, she's been banned a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you were on TikTok.
Pardon?
I didn't even know you were on TikTok. I think I got you on Facebook.
Yeah, I've been on TikTok over a year, but today's the first time I've ever gone live, so...
Yeah, you just be yourself. That's all you do. There's a lot of haters. A lot of haters on here too.
And good job, because when I'm done, there'll be 90 people watching you.
Hey?
Like that Greg there that was on there before.
Yeah, yeah.
What?
But you had 92 people watching there. You got 72.
Yeah, I had 2,200 total viewers on my one from this morning.
Yeah, that's all right, eh?
But I don't know how long they viewed for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You become famous, mate.
Yeah,
What do you do?
it is him.
Do you work all night or something?
Fun?
Do you work right through the night or something, do you?
No, I'm doing this for myself.
But do you work through the night?
No, I'm about finished tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out of soil
Oh, yeah.
in this bag, so I'm going to call it a night after I finish this one and get them all over where I've got them.
Yeah.
How have you done now?
I've done...
Fucking lost count after 40. I just farted.
6, so I've done 194.
Oh, wow.
Today.
Yeah. That's not bad. 134. All right.
Jesus. You know what, BJ? You're disgusting. You need to go away, please.
Benji Williams, are you talking to?
Yeah. He reckons I just farted.
Must have really good, like, speaker on his phone.
What? You going to bed?
No.
Good night.
I just need a cuddle.
This one here, I'm going to send down to Santhorpe, and I'm going to teach him. I'm going to teach him the farm life.
Don't know how they like that.
Please have some sauce.
No, you're already going stupid as it is.
If I pick you up tonight?
No.
Alright, ready? Steady, go. Let me try. Let me try next time.
Oh my god, let me go! Shit.
Oh, yeah.
Get inside. No, he's still here.
I just took a shit.
Alright, Joe, I'm gonna let you go because I don't go deal with kids and put them to bed.
Yep, I'm going to go end this live now. My phone's about to go dead now anyway, so...
We'll talk
another
night.
You take care.
Bye.
And keep Tish in line.
He said he'll see you in live. He said,
No,
all right.
keep him in line. No, you got to keep him in line.
Oh, yeah, I always do. Keep you in line, he said.
All right, you take care.
All right, bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Night. I don't even know how to turn this off.
Yes, consuming nicotine, alcohol, or anything like that may harm your health. Everyone? Well, good night, everybody. Thank you, everybody who's joined me tonight, or this afternoon. And I might go live again tomorrow afternoon after work to finish off the last few I got to put out. Alright, everybody, have a good night, or a good day, and I'll see you all in the future. Good night.